All right, everyone, a little change of scenery here today. We're in my home garage, and I wanted to talk a little bit about this audio source component, the NAD M33. I'm going to treat this like the other videos I've done. I'm not going to read off specifications. There's plenty of reviews out there for that. I'm going to give you my take on it, having experienced it for probably like 3 months now. I've been using it here in the garage, which is a bit nonsensical, but you know, it's pretty and it sounds really good, and so the garage is really important to me, and so it makes sense to me to put it in the garage. But generally speaking, you're going to put this in your office, or you're going to put it in your, you know, your critical listening room. It's a really high-end piece of equipment. So, you know, generally speaking, most people are going to put it somewhere else. But you know, if you have the means, why the heck not? Is the way I think of it. So the M33 is a BluOS enabled or BluOS capable, or onboard BluOS streaming digital analog converter. To me, this is the pinnacle of a device to connect to your phone, use it to and you can use it in a multi-zone system throughout your house, but you can seamlessly integrate. Like for instance, I have the V17i, which is the 7-channel preamp, or 9.1 preamp. I have that in my home theater, and I'm able to see them both on my phone at the same time. I can handshake back and forth, so if I want to play music in the garage and in the house, I could. But the BluOS system is, I think, by far the best streaming system, or best streaming connectivity, the best interface between Tidal, Qobuz, Spotify. Does anybody listen to Pandora anymore? Pandora. So streaming from your phone to a high-resolution audio piece via, you know, BluOS is a really great experience. And so this puppy here, what the claim to fame of this is using state-of-the-art Class D, and I believe they're called Purify Elegante, or Elegant, or no, Eigentact. I always say that wrong. Purify Eigentact, is the amplifier technology that they're using, combined with, so they're using that with NAD's hybrid digital technology. When they say hybrid, meaning that it can adjust the headroom available for, you know, whatever speakers you're listening to. So this is rated at 200 watts per channel. But there are, you know, it has rated peaks of 600 plus. You can also bridge it down. I don't know why you would do that, but you could bridge this, add another M24 amplifier to this, and or I guess M22 amplifier to this 2-channel amp, and run that bridge, and you'd have, you know, essentially 2 mono blocks. You could do it that way. But the way that I'm using this, I've got a pair of Dynaudio Heritage Specials in the garage. I've got a single Dynaudio sub 6 in here, so it's in a 2-channel typical listening environment. You can hear in my voice in here. There's echo, there's concrete floors, metal cabinets, there's concrete backsplash. It's not a particularly good listening environment, but the magic of this setup, the smoothness of Dynaudio, the ability, the significant power that the M33 has, combined with the ability to room correct. So I've run a Dirac room calibration or correction on this piece here in the garage, and it's really made a remarkable difference. So when I took this thing out of the box, I will caution you. So it was $5,000 at the time. Now it's $5,500. I took it out of the box, fell in love with it. You'll notice it has some like spiked feet. You could just mount it like so, but it does come with some magnetic little cups that it sits in. That's what I have it set up in the cabinet over there. But the construction, I mean, this is, you know, brushed aluminum. You can see the vents on top. It's got the color, you know, multicolor touchscreen display. Really nice volume control. It's, I think, perfection in a 2-channel box. When you look at it, has NAD's, you know, preferred or their best binding post as well. So it does have an A/B setup. So here's your left and right, but it has a B output as well. I would suggest you just run it in, you know, an A configuration, and then again, it is bridgeable if you wanted to. Pretty simple design, not a lot of inputs and outputs. This is designed to be a 2-channel critical listening device and not a home theater. It's not really designed to be a home theater receiver. It's only a two-channel amplifier. Now what I've done, notice here on the left, it has the modular design where you can add or subtract various components or various cards that allow you to do things. Like in my case, I have an Apple TV, and I made a mistake in here in that I ran directional HDMI cables through the wall, and then we put this whole backsplash and everything in. So those directional cables don't send the audio return channel back. And so I needed some HDMI switching. The Apple TV that I'm using as my streamer, Apple TV only has HDMI. It doesn't have optical connection. So I needed the ability to be able to do HDMI switching. And so the HDM, HDM-2 module, which is what we have here, I was able to add to the M33 and get the ability to have 3 inputs and a single output. And so that's given me the ability to stream, set up, and run 4K through the device to the display, which is really awesome, especially for the garage, where I'm still doing video, but the main purpose of this system is 2-channel audio. It does have several optical ins, a couple of coax ins. It has a balanced output as well if you wanted to use this as a preamp, which I'm not sure why you would, being as it has the amplifier built in. And here's the magic of this thing for the garage. I know this is a bit ridiculous, but buying this for the garage, but it has, the Class D architecture that NAD uses runs really cool. And so now my garage is conditioned, but if it wasn't, I also have it in a metal cabinet. This thing runs extremely cool. And so I don't have to worry about overheating issues, which I've had with like my Yamaha. I had a Yamaha network receiver in here. And so this thing runs cool as a cucumber, even in a metal cabinet, even with the doors closed most of the time. So, and these are pretty power hungry, pretty inefficient. I think that Dynaudio's, I think they're 6 ohm. They're either 4 or 6 ohm. So they really are, drawing as much current out of this thing as possible. Now, most of the weight of this thing, it's a lot lighter than you would think, but most of the weight of it is in the construction, in the aluminum case, because there's no big toroidal transformer in here like a traditional, Class A or Class AB amplifier. And yet it sounds, to me, this NAD stuff sounds like a Class AB amp, like a high-end, high-quality Class AB design. It sounds really incredible, even with some super power-hungry speakers. And so it does it more efficiently, does it with less heat, does it in a more manageable, lightweight cabinet. To get 200 watts of this quality, you would have, this thing would weigh 100 pounds, if it was a typical, Class A, or I guess Class AB would be more common amplifier. And, I've always been sort of against the idea of Class D, just simply because, in the old days, they didn't sound very good. They were sort of reserved for subwoofers and things like that. The remote control on this thing is pretty insane too. Also, brushed aluminum. You have to be careful if you hit someone, hit the dog or something with this remote. You're gonna break some skin. You'll like this remote. It's super heavy. You'll want to use it, but you never frickin' will. So you can pretty much just put that thing in the cabinet, or even in the box. You're never gonna frickin' take it out. I can promise you that. You're gonna use the BluOS stuff. If you want to watch, I won't do it in this video because I've already set this thing up. But if you want to spend some time learning how to, like if you were going to buy one of these and you didn't want to learn on your own, it's really quite simple to set up BluOS. We do have, go watch like the Blue Sound Node video. The setup is exactly the same as it would be for this, with the exception of, again, you're going to do some Dirac room calibration. I'm going to post up the tutorial from David Dunn from NAD. It's way better than I could ever do, the tutorial on the Dirac calibration. But I think I did 14 points of calibration in this room, in the garage, and it really helped with the the echo and the resonance, and it just sounds freaking amazing in here, even in a terrible environment with a metal garage door on the back wall, with no acoustic treatments at all. My voice sounds way worse than the darn audio does in here. It's really pretty cool. So naturally, if you were doing this, setting this up in your garage, it's certainly overkill. This is more of a I can, not I should. And that's exactly why I'm doing this. I just want awesome audio in the garage, and this is my frivolous choice to do something that's way overqualified for the task. Same thing with the speakers and the subwoofer, but it really makes for a really awesome experience. So I will stock, 1 or 2 of these, and if not, usually I can get them from NAD. So if you are considering buying one of these for your garage, certainly, hit me up. Or if you're, going to buy it for the house as well, I'd be really appreciative if you support me. We make a margin on these things, and so it helps me to continue to chase these things. But we also carry the M10, we carry the C700, the C368, 388, 399. That's probably more suitable for the garage to do something like a C388 or something in here, or even like a C700 NAD. But this thing, my experience with this has been absolutely fantastic, and it looks really cool in my cabinet. And I think that everyone should have one, or at least aspire to get one. So that's the NAD M33. Go to obsessedgarage.com. Hit me up, Matt@obsessedgarage.com, if you have questions. I'd be happy to help you think of how to put together your system for either your house or your garage. I'm probably going to keep this thing for a long time. So I think that for me, this is the 2-channel version of perfection in a garage, and I'd like to have several of these, one in my office as well. So thanks for your support, and I'll see you soon.